Hi, welcome to a short little video I've decided to make where I'm going to be talking about 5 kind of useful tips, tricks, exploits, whatever you want to call them, that might help you in some of your CK3 campaigns. What's interesting about a lot of these is they're actually taking advantage of things that may not even exist in future DLCs or patches, so always take note that this is made on Rogue 1.8.2 up to the Friends and Foes DLC. If it doesn't work in your version, that may be why. But we can't always live in the past, so let's go see if any of these tricks can help in your journey. Coming in at number 1, we have a really nice, simple Norse raiding exploit. The trick to this is quite simple. You can effectively raid anyone in the game without them stopping you, so long as that person is at war. So the person we're going to use in this example is Al-Andalus. They always start the game at war. That means you can go straight and raise a local raiding army, bring your army down to the southern coast of Iberia, and then by sailing up the river, start raiding all these wonderful provinces in Cordoba. These are some really good gold. This is 84 gold just at the start of the game, and nobody's going to stop you because they're at war. This can be repeated with pretty much anybody who's at war throughout the entire game. You want to go after the Byzantine Empire, maybe steal a Justinian crown? Wait until they're at war. Maybe want to go after the Papal Tiara? Wait until there's a crusade, then send your troops all the way into Rome and see if you can steal something. It really is that simple, and as long as Paradox don't change the way that the AI prioritizes coming after raiding armies, you can just go in and raid what you want. Really strong early game start, really good for some early game gold, and I hope it helps. Why yes, that is 168 raid loot I'm bringing home with me. Coming in at number 2, we have the Mystical Ancestors Renown exploit. Now this is kind of an annoyingly tricky one, which has some downsides, but if you're willing to make the sacrifices, can be very powerful. This particular tip has quite a bit of setup involved with it. There are 3 things you're really going to need to achieve. You're going to need to find a place with a lot of domain for you to give to your heir. 2, you're going to need to have an heir, only one heir, nobody to share it with. And 3, you're going to need to play a culture that has mystical ancestors. Everything I think we can achieve within Create Your Own Ruler. And here we have Shang Starwell, Han Chinese, has 1 son, has some traits, not relevant but he has some traits and he should be good to go. So the baseline of how this particular exploit works is the fact that the Mystical Ancestors tradition gives you renown when granting titles to house members. Because you only have 1 house member, Gun Starwell here, you can grant him all your titles. This at the start of the game is instantly going to give you 600 renown, which you can use to, I don't know, pick a random dynasty legacy. Let's go lore, and then you need to pick another vassal, preferably if you have one. You can try it with your own son, but he's probably going to accept, so there's no point to do it in this case. I'm going to use Alfred the Great over here. Once we try to imprison him, he's going to say no, which is perfectly okay. We just want to surrender the war and become deposed. We're now playing as our dear son, Duke Gun. The final part of this exploit is that it's actually repeatable, especially at this stage, because I can just go back to my father and grant him everything back again. Just give him everything back. Try to imprison Alfred. Alfred says no. Surrender and we are deposed. And with that, we're back to playing Shang, the original character. Oh, and we also have more Dynasty Legacy things to take. So basically, you can just repeat this on loop as much as you like to complete as many Dynasty Legacies as you like. The final thing, and it is a bit of a drawback, every time you do it, you're going to lose 500 prestige, because being deposed means you lose 500 prestige. This could become a big issue if you're planning to do some wars. So be very cautious of that. Probably make sure you plan around that if you're going to take this strat. But otherwise, being able to spam out tons of Level of Splendor and Dynasty Legacies is very powerful. Also, you get to play a nice Chinese man with a hat. So my next tip is going to be not so difficult as the last one, and that's going to be taking advantage of Republican vassals. Wessex worked so nice last time, I see no reason not to use them again. So the baseline of how this works is, especially at the start of the game, it can be somewhat difficult to maybe keep a lot of your vassals happy, especially if they're feudal vassals. feudal vassals don't have as much love for you. They also have the unfortunate side effect that they have succession crises. Lands can be inherited far away, things can move around, you lose land to a foreign inheritance, it can just be terrible. Republican vassals do not have these issues. So when you're going to, let's say, give away some territory, such as Wessex, because you're way over domain limit, go into yourself and look at your vassals. Maybe find somebody who's good at, I don't know, diplomacy. Here we have Reeve Sig here. He's currently in the borough of Hastings and he is a republic. Very important. From here, all we do is just click on him and start granting him some land. With that, he is now up to a county tier title and he remains a republic. I'm not sure if this is an intended mechanic or if this is an exploit, but it feels kind of exploity because this land is not going to separate from any inheritance, it's not going to cause you any problems, and specifically in this guy, they usually last a lot longer than feudal vassals do. In addition, there is also the fact that early game, it's kind of easier for you to make your Republican vassals like you from the stewardship tree, because obviously you have likeable, which gives you direct vassal opinion, but you also can have detailed ledgers, which gives you Republican ruler opinion plus 20. And yes, even these guys count as Republican rulers, so basically you can have vassals that really love you all the way in 867 that don't split apart at any time. Very powerful. My fourth tip is kind of well known. I don't think it's necessarily an exploit or anything, but it's something to bear in mind, and that's going to be Czech's fake primogeniture. Let's take a look. So all you really need to know for this one is that the Czech culture is basically overpowered. Forgetting about the fact that it has the industrious innovation, we have Table of Princes. This allows you to, in the tribal era, enact house seniority law, which is okay, it's pretty good. The oldest member of your house will inherit all your titles. The all your titles being very important. So that's instantly something that you might want to go for, to have basically very straightforward succession. The part where this gets interesting is that once you reach the wonderful year 900 AD, you can start moving towards royal prerogative. This will allow you to get absolute crown authority, and this will allow you to rulers can designate their heir. This particular interaction actually ranks higher than Table of Princes house seniority, which means your heir can be picked so that they inherit everything, because Table of Princes makes the heir inherit everything. Basically, that's primogeniture. So long as you can get absolute crown authority and you have Table of Princes, that's it. You have got primogeniture in, well, hypothetically, the very early 900s. Okay, and for the final one, because I don't want to bloat this video out too much, is going to be the Oath of True Friendship advantage. So, to show off basically what this is good for, we can take a look at the Holy Roman Empire. You might find yourself playing as Austria. If you do, you might want to take up the Form Archduchy of Austria decision, but unfortunately it has a pretty annoying catch. You must have a strong hook on the leader of the Holy Roman Empire. Kind of annoying. What's good is that the fate of Iberia actually gave us kind of a workaround in the form of a new tradition called Ritualized Friendship. Very present in Iberian cultures, but one you can actually add manually to any of your cultures with prestige. With this, it effectively creates a strong path for you to be able to get strong hooks. Befriend schemes become available to everybody. You can ask your friends to become best friends, and then once you have best friends, you get strong hooks on each other. Strong hooks that you may want to use to form the Archduchy of Austria. Again, this isn't really an exploit. This is just using game mechanics, but I think it's something that some people may have forgotten they can take advantage of if they want to do things that require strong hooks. There are also things to do with the papacy, which require you to have a strong hook, which Ritualized Friendship can help with. To name one that comes off the head, although not really an important one, we do have Restore the Holy Roman Empire. This one requires you to have a strong hook on the Pope, although it also requires you to have 60 opinion of you positive, which is probably easier to do. But there are other decisions that require you to have strong hooks on the Pope, other characters, and basically synergizing the friendship is a pretty easy way to go about getting it. Okay, that should be everything. I hope this was somewhat useful to you. Maybe some of these will be helpful, and I'll be very interested to see how many of these particular tips, tricks, and helpful things will actually be usable in future versions of the game. Maybe this video will just become outdated instantly. I look forward to it. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. If you liked, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye 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 bye.